That 70% of fourth graders are not proficient in reading. That's
two new reports that paint a bleak picture of the state of education in Tennessee. What's being done to turn around this crisis in the classroom?
Flood after flood.
I don't know what to do.
Fox 17 News going to bat for this man getting hung out to dry by one government agency. Fox 17 News at 9 starts now.
Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
Well, after several days of 90-plus degree temperatures, you have felt it. Tomorrow could be the hottest day of the year.
Oh, we're still cranking this up. Triple digits, very much in play here. I can't believe I'm saying this. Code Red Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan now with what we can can
It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot.
So
tomorrow.
do we hit 100?
So you're going to deliver on this, huh?
Yeah, no, I was just checking some of my numbers for tomorrow, and I think we're gonna be close. I'm forecasting 99. The record's 101.
It could
we're
easily
splitting
slide
hairs.
over,
Yeah, we're splitting hairs
Just
here.
toeing the line there.
That's right. Now, the hottest day of the year is 98. So again, 1 degree warmer tomorrow. Could be the hottest day of the year for, and I forgot to, it's not May 23rd. I forgot to edit that out. But this is all true. I did this last second. I said, oh, I got to put this together because I forgot I wanted to do this graphic here. So it is Tuesday tomorrow. It is not May 23rd tomorrow. It is 25th tomorrow. I don't even know what day it is. 99 the forecast. The record is 101, and that was set in 1988. I do know those facts are straight. The heat advisories here have expanded across a lot of the country, middle of the country, and even some excessive heat warnings that are in effect here. But notice we're right on the edge of that. Middle Tennessee not included in it. So again, we'll look at temperatures to reach very close to 100, if not maybe 100 degrees. But the heat index values won't be much higher than that. So again, that silver lining, it's not as sultry tomorrow, still humid, but not adding too much more insult to injury as far as the humidity is concerned. It was sticky today. It'll be like that again tomorrow. Things are pretty quiet downtown on Broadway. Our temperature is still very warm, sitting at 84 and under a mainly clear sky for tonight. Overnight, with the drier air that we've been experiencing today, believe me, it is a little drier than it was on Saturday. We're allowing those temperatures will be able to slide a little bit more. So lows could touch maybe the low 60s out toward the plateau in Nashville. Always a little warmer here in the city center. And we'll be around 70 for tomorrow morning. We'll talk more about the heat, how long it'll last, when we could see 100 again later this week, and tracking our next good chance for showers. It's all in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
I am really frustrated. I'm at the end of my rope over it.
Continuing coverage tonight about that Nashville man who's battling repeated flooding in his front yard. Now, after seeing our original story, Metro Water Services agreed to send someone over to see if the city's maybe to blame for all this in some way. But the homeowner says he's yet to see them. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar live at the Metro Water Services office downtown with a Fox 17 follow-up.
I have been constantly reaching out to Metro Water Services right here behind me to try to get answers. I emailed them again today to see if they'd contact the homeowner.
They're not paying any attention to me at all. They don't want to deal with me or my problem.
John Cripps is frustrated his complaints about constant flooding to his home are not being taken care of.
I don't know what to do.
He has lived in this home on Bull Run Road for nearly 5 decades. In the last 10 years, he says his house has been flooded over and over again. He says it's caused damage to his property.
It's cost me over $10,000 in fence repairs. It's washed 700 foot of fence away one time, 500 foot of fence away, and then 400 foot of fence away. And it will do it again.
Metro Water Services told Fox 17 News they put in a culvert right here, but that was 5 years ago.
Has Metro Water Services come out ever since they put that culvert in?
No, they haven't.
Take a look at his culvert. It still has water in it, even with the heat. Cripps tells me that he wants his culvert to look like his neighbors, including having a box culvert.
Well, I think they could dig the ditch deeper and go straight to the creek.
When we first reached out to Metro Water Services, they said they weren't going to come out. Then they said they would. John Cripps is still waiting for them to contact him.
I think I've lost all hope.
We followed up with Metro Water Services, and they tell me that their storm water team should be going out to John Cripp's house this week or next week. We will keep you updated. Reporting live here in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Karen. Well, 2 years ago tonight, the U.S. Supreme Court ended Roe v. Wade and returned the decision of abortion rights back to the states. So today, this was the scene outside of the state capitol where folks gathered to protest Tennessee's anti-abortion laws. Experts say it's one of the most restrictive abortion laws in the country. In Tennessee, a woman can only get an abortion if her life is in danger or she could see severe harm to her body.
Since the overturning of Roe v. Wade, there has been way too many women who have gotten pregnant due to rape and incest, and there's nothing that they can do. They have to cross state lines.
Supporters of Tennessee's abortion law say it's about protecting the unborn. Well, we opened up this to you, our audience, asking what you think. Should abortion rights be in the hands of the state government or the federal government? We've had a little over 600 people weigh in. 84% of respondents say the state government. 16% said the federal government. This poll is live right now. Still time to cast your vote. Just scan the QR code right there on your screen. It will take you over to our X page where you can vote and weigh in.
Tonight in Crisis in the Classroom, a couple of new reports painting a bleak picture of education in our state. Less than half of Tennessee fourth graders, 46%, are proficient at reading. Now, this is according to the very latest TCAP test results. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller live in North Nashville with reaction to that and another report ranking Tennessee 32nd in the nation for education.
Yes, Scott, well, reading proficiency amongst fourth graders went from 44 to 46% over the last year. Now, we spoke with education leaders today who say that this number is still very concerning. Fox 17 News first looked at this report from 2024 Kids Count that ranks Tennessee number 32 for education.
Well, I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, I thought that, Tennessee would have done better.
The stats for education in Tennessee worsened in all four categories, including fourth graders not being proficient in reading.
And the report shows that 70% of fourth graders are not proficient in reading. That's as of 2022. How does that make you feel as an education leader?
So we've been modifying reading. At some point, we've got to hold people accountable at the highest levels when things don't go good.
The latest TCAP scores show fourth graders at a 46% proficiency rate in reading as of this school year, only up 2% from the previous school year. The state has tried addressing reading proficiency with the third grade retention law, which is a law where a student can be held back, forced into tutoring and/or summer school if they do not pass the English portion of the TCAP.
But the key thing is the tutoring and the summer school. Those are going to have to be ongoing until we really have propelled ourselves up a little bit higher.
But Bowman believes more needs to be done on a higher level to make sure the curriculum is strong enough and to better prepare students who don't test well to succeed with this new model. TCAP results also show 8th graders reading at a 29% proficiency rate. Now, this has people really concerned about whether or not students will be ready for high school. Now, we will continue to look at this data and cover these concerns. Reporting live from North Nashville, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Crisis in the Classroom is Fox 17 News' commitment to exposing problems in our schools and finding solutions. If you have a story you'd like to see us cover, send an email to news@fox17.com or call our tip line 615-266-4149.
In Operation Crime and Justice, the Robertson County Sheriff's Office arresting 2 people for the death of a man whose body was found along train tracks near the Montgomery County border. Investigators say this woman, Celia Ramirez Hernandez, and her son, Mizael Cruz Hernandez, shot Carlos Camaha at a home in Springfield and then took his body and dumped it along the train tracks. Investigators say Celia was the victim's girlfriend at the time of the shooting. No word yet on a motive.
Looking ahead to Thursday now, at a big event celebrating the history of the 101st Airborne Division up at Fort Campbell. Community leaders will be on post for groundbreaking of the Wings of Liberty Museum. When it's finished, it will be the second largest Army museum in the country. It will focus on the historical impact of Fort Campbell, the soldiers there, and will provide a unique opportunity for Americans to learn about real U.S. history through the eyes of the soldiers who are based right there on the Tennessee-Kentucky border. The $40 million project is expected to be open to the public late next year.
A life-saving tool now in
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Feed America for the Sinclair Cares Summer Hunger Relief Program. You can donate by scanning the QR code on your screen or go to sinclaircares.com.
In a Fox 17 News Health Alert, Franklin officers have another tool to help keep people safe. The department just received anti-choking devices. Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey shows us how it works.
Now, ideally, officers will not have to use these new anti-choking devices, but Franklin Police Chief Deborah Faulkner saw some success stories with other departments using them, and she wanted in. It's called a life vac. You can see the two pieces attached right here. You place it over the mouth of the person choking, push the handle down, then pull it back up in hopes of dislodging whatever that person is choking on, an alternative, actually, to the Heimlich maneuver. Max Winnitz with the Franklin Police Department recommends this to other departments and even places like restaurants, also saying families can have one around, but if 911 does need to be called, sergeants and lieutenants are trained and ready.
Obviously, public safety, the number one concern, the number one job that we have here as a police department, and our officers in years past have encountered individuals choking. Like I said, we hope to not have to use these, but it is really a benefit to have them, and it's great to be prepared.
And another reason that officers think this can help is because they often get to the scene before fire and EMS because their cars are faster and more versatile. In Franklin, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Let's talk about extreme weather. Flooding is the problem in South Dakota. It has led to a bridge collapse, some damaged homes, and so far at least one confirmed death. Several homes along the river here, Raging River, suffering major damage, and the record high water levels are to blame. The incredible volume of water caused a bridge connecting Iowa and South Dakota to collapse. No word yet on the cost of all this damage.
All right, if you think it's hot now, better buckle up because we're not putting the lid on this just yet.
No, and it gets hot and it's June, it's summertime now, but the extent of the heat that we've seen, we had highs last week in the mid to upper 90s, and again this week, it's enough,
I just pray the air conditioning,
Yeah.
holds up.
Yeah, and the thing is about these afternoon highs, we see those above average a lot, and we talk more about it, and that's why we're a little more aware of it. What we're not as aware of is the overnight lows that have been at, if not near record low temperatures, where they're not dropping enough to really give us a nice reset through the overnight and for us all to cool down through the evening hours. So by 9 a.m. we're already in the 80s. So that's kind of been one of our issues, is just that we haven't had enough time to really cool down through the overnight. Now, somewhat of an exception tonight as we drop back into the upper 60s, but we are looking at highs near 99 for tomorrow afternoon. So that high heat does stick around. Not only that, I do see it as we head towards the weekend too. Could look at Friday and Saturday near 100 as well. Best chance for rain this week is going to be on Wednesday. Looking at a chance for some showers and storms. Couple could be on the strong side, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. But you notice the numbers are above average, anywhere between 2 to 10 degrees above average for this time of year, which is that yellow line that you see there. So we do get a brief cool down after the storms move through for Wednesday. Back up to near 100 degrees as we head towards the end of the week. Again, I mentioned the humidity. It's not quite sultry, but it's still sticky outside, and it's just uncomfortable, especially through the early evening hours where we're not getting a lot of air movement throughout the day. Tomorrow will be very similar to what we had today, just maybe a degree or two warmer. We hit 94 this afternoon. 86 for tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We're up to about 97 by 2 o'clock. Mainly sunny skies as we head through the day, and 98 degrees by 5 o'clock. o'clock, 5 p.m., and we're still talking about temperatures in the upper 90s. So we take a look at heat index values for tomorrow. I mentioned with the humidity being sticky, we will see that heat index value right around 100, if not just above it, but not much higher than that. So that's somewhat of a silver lining for us. Through the afternoon, you can see more of those higher heat index values will be out towards the Tennessee River. Nashville could feel like 100, maybe 101 throughout the later part of the afternoon. And notice as we head into Tuesday evening, early Wednesday morning, we're still feeling quite warm. This is at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. And notice through Tuesday late evening hours, still feeling like those mid to upper 80s to low 90s. I mentioned a chance for a few strong thunderstorms on Wednesday. This is going to be a very typical summertime type of strong thunderstorm. The tornado threat in the summer months it's very low. There are always exceptions. This will not be one of those exceptions. So I am expecting maybe a stray thunderstorm that could bring us some gusty winds and some hail. And because we get a lot of those in the summertime, it is a reason why we have chosen not to go into code red, because we get so many of those types of pop-up storms throughout the summer months. So we don't want all of our days to be code red days in the summertime. But I do want to make you aware that a couple of these could drop some heavy rain. Notice through early Wednesday morning, we're not finding too much here. Better chance for showers through late morning and more so into the afternoon. This is 2 o'clock here. And again, a couple pop-ups will be around. Should help us at least briefly cool down. Again, wind, maybe some hail in some of these storms. We'll talk more about what will be headed our way next week. A brief look and a sneak peek at 4th of July.
Dueling campaign strategies ahead of the first debate of 2024. I'm Christine Frizzell with a look at the newsworthy event.
Get $5,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Ashley Stars and Stripes sale is going on now, and everything is on sale. Get unbelievable deals on hot buys up to 50% off. This summer, spend less and get more. Only at Ashley. Feels good to be home.
Well, we're just a few days away now from the first presidential debate of 2024, featuring former President Donald Trump and President Biden. Both will be trying to appeal to voters on a variety of issues. Fox 17 News' Christine Frizzell takes a look at how the candidates are preparing. And by the way, you can vote on this issue by scanning the QR code that will appear here shortly on your screen during this story.
In a Texas courtroom, one of the two men now facing murder charges, a crime authorities say they never should have been able to commit.
This victim was found, bound and without clothing from the waist down.
Franklin Jose Peña Ramos, along with Johan Jose Rangel Martinez, are charged in the death of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungari. Her body later found in a creek. The cause of death, strangulation. Both men reportedly migrants from Venezuela, caught by Border Patrol and released into the United States.
These monsters should never have been in our country, and if I were president, they would not have been in our country.
Former President Donald Trump weighing in, part of a strategy to keep voters' eyes focused on the issue at the southern border. His supporters blaming the Biden administration.
When Secretary Mayorkas changed the rules to his Border Patrol agents and said, hey, you don't have to detain aggravated felons as required under federal law, that's when all this started.
Over the last year, polls have shown the border is a top issue for voters, along with the economy. President Biden's campaign, meanwhile, has been laser focused on reproductive health care. This week's 2-year anniversary of the Supreme Court's Dobbs decision, which overturned Roe v. Wade, has kept it at the forefront.
Today, our daughters know fewer rights than their grandmothers. This is a healthcare crisis.
Despite it ranking somewhat lower in the polls for voters, the Biden campaign holding multiple events across the country. Also out with this new ad, focused not just on decreased access to abortion.
I was right around 11 weeks when I had a miscarriage.
But how changed state laws impact health care overall.
I was turned away from 2 emergency rooms. That was a direct result of Donald Trump overturning Roe v. Wade.
The Biden team warning of a country consumed by chaos, with a diminished image on the world stage should Donald Trump win a second term. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzell.
During that story, we had a QR code posted up with this poll asking the question, which issue will be most important to your presidential vote this November? The results there on your screen, 740 people weighing in. 45.3% say the border crisis is the top priority, compared to 41.8% of respondents that say it's the economy, 7.7% say it's abortion, 5.3% say foreign policy.
Fox 17 travel alert that we want you to be aware of for tomorrow out at the Nashville International Airport. This right now, the map shows how the travel lanes at the airport are currently designated. You know, you've got one here for the hotel, you've got another for arrivals, another for departing flights, or this one is the decision lane where you've got to decide, you know, where to get. And this one is for the departing lines. Now, if you drop somebody off, you're going to need to use the decision lane to get to the terminal. The decision lane, because the departure lane is going to be closed off. One of the lanes being closed so they can remove the curb and expand the lanes. When all the work is done, there will be 2 lanes for arrivals, 2 lanes for departures, and 2 lanes for either the hotel and valet guests to use. That extra hotel lane won't be added, though, until next year.
In your consumer news, a warning from the Better Business Bureau. Last year alone, the agency saw 5,000 complaints filed against moving companies. Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse showing you the red flags tonight.
School is out, the weather is nice, and what better time to move than right now? Well, the Better Business Bureau says to check businesses before you sign an agreement, because the last thing anyone wants during a stressful time like moving is to be out of money and for their belongings to not end up at their final destination. This year, so far, the Better Business Bureau says more than 20 complaints filed against moving companies right here in Tennessee. This can happen in a number of different ways. 1, you hire movers and they don't show up. 2, they try to slap on more fees and say you had more than what was quoted. And 3, sometimes they'll hold your belongings hostage until it's paid. And that can be sometimes double what you agreed to. And the Better Business Bureau says crooks will try to get you when you're vulnerable. You're already overwhelmed and need their services.
They should have 2 to 3 hours later. Then you at this point, I had no other option, right? I was tired. I needed to be moved at a certain time. And they said, all right, we'll move you, but you got to pay $500 more. So once again, that's another red flag.
The Better Business Bureau says to hold on to your personal items, anything that is of value to you or your family, never put it on a moving truck. Do your research and check the companies before you make any agreement, and you can do that on BBB's website. And paying with a credit card is a safer route. More than likely, you can dispute these charges with your credit card company and file a complaint through the BBB because it keeps track of this. In studio, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Peyton, thank you. Trending tonight, some new problems for social media giant TikTok. The U.S. Department of Justice is now looking into accusations that TikTok violated child privacy laws. Fox 17 News' Atra Elishar now with a closer look at the allegations.
One of the most popular social media apps is in more hot water with government regulators. The Federal Trade Commission referring a complaint to the Department of Justice against TikTok and its Chinese parent company ByteDance after it says it found reason to believe they are violating or are about to violate the law. Specifically, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which in part requires sites to obtain verifiable parental consent prior to collecting, using, or disclosing personal information from children.
They can then make their feeds even more powerful, even more addictive, and it can send children down dark rabbit holes of not only misinformation, but content that is not good for their physical and mental health.
TikTok disputes the allegations, saying, "We've been working with the FTC for more than a year to address its concerns. We're disappointed the agency is pursuing litigation instead of continuing to work with us on a reasonable solution. And we're proud of and remain deeply committed to the work we've done to protect children, and we will continue to update and improve our product." This is far from the first time the company has been called out on this issue. Last April, the UK fined TikTok the equivalent of almost $16 million after officials discovered more than 1 million kids under 13 in the UK were on TikTok and their personal data was used without parental consent.
That means that their personal data may have been used to track them and profile them, potentially delivering harmful, inappropriate content at their very next scroll.
TikTok disagreed with their findings. Months later, Ireland did the same, and now the European Commission is looking into possible violations in France and Spain. TikTok is by no means the only social media platform scrutinized for its child privacy practices. And in Congress, a growing number of lawmakers support changing the current liability protections for social media companies so that users or users' parents can sue them for the harms committed on their platforms. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atrel Nashar.
We previously had put a poll up on Fox 17's X page where we asked if you're concerned that TikTok is a national security threat to the U.S. More than 700 of you cast ballots, and you see how many people said yes, almost 60%. But at the same time, a sizable number of people told us they were not concerned, roughly 40%. We'll have a poll up every night for you, trying to gauge your reaction to important issues like this, so keep a watch out for them.
Hot day tomorrow. We've been talking about that, and could be the hottest day of the year. Possible that we could hit 100 degrees. We have not yet for 2024. But yeah, we're going to be close to it. Last time we did hit 100 was last year. In fact, August 25th. We went several years, in fact, without seeing 100 degrees. And then a couple years ago, we hit 100. Last year, we hit 100 twice. It was back-to-back days in August, the 24th and the 25th. So we'll be looking at a pretty warm one again for tomorrow here. We take a look at Nashville, Clarksville, and Crossville. You can see this is by noon. Looking at temperatures around 95. Now, heat index values are in red, and as I mentioned, they're not going to add too much more insult to injury as far as the real field temperature goes up. In Crossville, right around 87 by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, near 100 for Nashville and Clarksville, looking at temperatures in the low 90s, but humidity will be a little bit higher toward the Tennessee River, at least in our western counties. So we'll be feeling like 100. We'll have a right around that 100 degree mark here in Nashville. And again, talked about it last week, but one of the reasons why Nashville tends to be a little warmer than other locations has a lot to do with the urban heat island effect, where there's more concrete, there's more steel and infrastructure, and heat just radiates and tends to warm us up a little bit more. So that's one of the reasons why we tend to be a little warmer than other locations here, other communities and towns. We'll talk more about 4th of July and my current.
Although the impacts of the pandemic are gone for most of us, many cities and people alike, life is still not completely back to normal.
Well, a new set of pandemic-related rules about to make things complicated for some folks who live along our northern border. Fox 17 News' Chris Daniels explains why in tonight's Spotlight on America report.
It is a pocket of the country rare in its geography and beauty.
Why'd you choose to live in Point Roberts?
For us, it was about the kids.
Justin Brunswick and his wife are raising their children and a new litter of chocolate lab puppies here in Point Roberts, Washington, one of a few American penny exclaves, only accessible by land through Canada. A place where gas is sold by the liter. The local grocery store keeps 2 tills of currency, and evolving border restrictions have taken their toll.
It really shifted people's consumer habits, their behavior, and that impacted these cross-border economies that depended on that border functioning.
Dr. Lori Troutman is the director of the Border Policy Research Institute at Western Washington University and says northern border traffic volumes have dropped across the U.S. since the start of the pandemic, from Washington State to Michigan and New York. The small towns that rely on the tax revenue from tourism have felt the impact and are now bracing for a CDC guideline come August 1st requiring dog owners for proof of rabies vaccinations, microchipping, and recent travel history to cross the border. It would be just the latest complications for small towns on the northern border still trying to recover from the pandemic.
I think it's going to cause a lot of confusion.
So it's another deterrent to make that crossing.
Absolutely.
The dog rabies issue for pets, family pets, absolutely ridiculous.
Brian Calder is the Point Roberts Chamber president. He says this gas station just closed, faced with headwinds at the border and the exchange rate. The only grocery store is still hurting too.
We're not back to where we were
in any way, shape, or form.
Store owner Allie Hayton argues certain rural communities should have a special exemption.
Some of those restrictions that they have coast to coast shouldn't apply here.
So many times some of these regulations that are well-intentioned, that seem like a good idea, just don't actually end up accomplishing the thing that you're trying to accomplish.
Brunswick says he isn't sure yet how he will even navigate starting a potential breeding business or vet visits, since there is not one in this disconnected small border town. And while he, like others, value the relative peace and serenity of the point, they are still left to wonder, after a few painful years, if the feds will throw them a bone. In Point.
Tennessee baseball team had been to Omaha 3 times in the last 4 years, but they had never been able to bring home that first national title until tonight. Let's take you out to Omaha. Game 3, the College World Series against the Texas A&M Aggies, where all the Big Orange Stars were out tonight. Morgan Wallen, Peyton Manning, Josh Heupel all cheering on the Vols. And Tennessee's offense took a while to get going the first 2 games. Not the case tonight. Christian Moore with the leadoff home run to get the Vols going and give them a 1-0 lead bottom of the first. 2 innings later, Vols keep it going. Add a little insurance with a runner on. Dylan Dreiling coming up clutch with a sacrifice fly to center field. In comes Blake Burke. Make that 2-1 Vols lead. Now Dreiling got just underneath that pitch, and he made sure not to miss again. Bottom of the 7th, Dreiling takes the 0-1 pitch over the right field fence, his 3rd home run of the weekend, and it's a big 2-run bomb to put the Vols up 5-1. So Vols feeling good, plenty of cushion. Still that same inning, they keep it going, but this time a little magic on the base path. Check out this next play. Kavaris Tears hits this one hard right off the right field wall, bounces out to the outfield. Texas A&M quickly trying to get the relay in home. Hunter Ensley rounding third. He's dead in the water, right? No. Somehow Ensley pulls off a Houdini and avoids the tag. Take another look at this one. Completely misses the catcher, and that run would be huge because the Aggies cut into the lead. They make it a 1-run ball game, but the pitching staff slams the door. Aaron Combs finished with the final 3 outs of the game as the Vols win their first national title ever in program history. They also become the first #1 seed to win it all since 1999. And that's not the only series finale on the line tonight. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final between the Edmonton Oilers and Florida Panthers still in action. 5 minutes left in the 3rd period. Panthers with a 2-1 lead. So very, very close Game 7. I'll have more on this game tonight at 10. Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
All right, Vols win, Vols win, Vols win. Hot weather in the Midwest, hot weather here.
Yes, very steamy for tomorrow, and we'll be close to that 100-degree mark. And one of the big questions, of course, will be how long is it going to last?
Yeah, on everyone's mind.
All right.
Longer than a baseball game.
Yeah, well, unfortunately. It looks like it'll last through the weekend, at least for Friday and Saturday. Upper 90s, close to 100 returns after a brief cool down for Wednesday and Thursday of this week. Things are pretty quiet right now. Live look from South Nashville. We'll look at a mainly clear night and with slightly drier air in play. That again will allow temperatures to drop a little bit more for tomorrow morning, right around 70, if not upper 60s here at 6 a.m. with sunshine around, but we'll quickly warm here by 9 o'clock in the morning up to around 79 to 80 degrees with plenty of sunshine throughout the day. Now, I mentioned that we are looking at a chance for showers on Wednesday. That will be our best chance of rain for the week ahead. Saturday and Sundays, a few pop-ups will be possible for us. But again, Wednesday looks to overall be the best chance for rain that we have. So we take you through the next couple of days here. This is tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're dry for tomorrow, so no worries there. As we go through Wednesday, you can see this front approaching us from the north and from the west. A strong thunderstorm can't be ruled out. This would mainly bring us some gusty winds, maybe some small hail. But again, the tornado threat, especially this time of year, is pretty low. These are just not tornadic type thunderstorms that move in. These are more wind and hail makers. So for Wednesday, I would say afternoon, early evening, maybe a pop-up
shower or storm here. We'll look at probably some rainfall along with it along the front, most likely. But I'd say that our strong thunderstorm threat will remain relatively isolated throughout the afternoon and evening. Through Thursday morning, we will begin to dry out, and we'll look at a brief break from any rain chances until we get into the weekend. A quick thought on 4th of July. We're still 10 days away, but right now I was looking at least a few of the models, longer range models. Couple pop-up thunderstorms do appear possible right now. Now the average high and low, 70 in the morning and 91 in the afternoon, which is very close to where we are right now. For next Thursday, the 4th of July, I'm going to go with, at the moment, upper 80s to around 90 degrees with a couple pop-ups possible in the afternoon hours. That's at least one of the long-range patterns that I was looking at is maybe hinting at. But again, keep in mind, it's still 10 days out, so we will see that change most likely between now and then. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Temperatures hovering in those 90s all week long. And again, a few pop-ups even for this weekend. It'd be a great weekend to hit the lake.
Oh, that's not a bad idea, Katie. Well, earlier tonight, we asked you in tonight's Fox 17 X poll, should abortion rights be in the hands of state government or federal government? This poll is live right now. So far, we've had 655 people weigh in. 84.3% of respondents say state government, 15.7% say federal government. You can still cast your vote. There's time. Just scan the QR code right there on your screen. It will take you over to our X page. Our handle's at Fox Nashville.
Just ahead, an important recall alert involving a charge. In consumer news tonight, Costco is recalling 3 portable charger models because of concerns they could burst into flames. The recall issued by the Consumer Product Safety Commission says that the agency received 120 reports of these chargers overheating. They had 5 incidents involving fire, 2 of which were house fires. The My Charge Power Hub all-in-one exclusively sold at Costco under very specific model numbers involved here. Customers can visit the My Charge website for more information about the recall and how to return these products.
Well, new tonight, calling all Ford Bronco enthusiasts. You can test your knowledge and your driving abilities this fall with a new experience from Ford. The car manufacturer is opening its 5th off-road driving adventure school in Tennessee this fall. Lovers of the classic Ford Bronco can enroll in Bronco off-road EO courses to learn how to drive the car in off-road settings. Those interested can buy a 4-hour package with guided instruction and the chance to drive a Bronco. New Bronco and Bronco Sport owners get free access to education and guided courses.
A possible strike, the air carrier whose workers are upset enough to potentially walk off the job.
And an important consumer alert involving fake diet and weight loss pills. Well, flight attendants could go on strike as soon as August as contract talks with American Airlines stall. The Association of Professional Flight Attendants say it's one step closer to a strike with American Airlines. Talks late last week failed to reach an agreement, and the union says a year of mediated talks is yet to secure more money. The airline says it's offered an immediate 17% pay raise with profit sharing. Flight attendants are not able to strike until a 30-day cooling off period ordered by the National Mediation Board has passed.
A Fox 17 consumer alert now as the World Health Organization and drug maker Eli Lilly warn people to stay away from fake versions of popular weight loss and diabetes drugs. The WHO says it has received several reports of fake semaglutide, the active ingredient in the popular weight loss drugs Wegovy and Ozempic. In the past 24 months, it says that they have seen reports coming from all over the world. The WHO recommends that you only buy prescription drugs from licensed doctors and avoid buying any drugs from an unfamiliar source.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
First on Fox tonight, a really big night for the Big Orange. Doesn't get any bigger. UT wins its first ever College World Series championship.
Man, it's got to feel good. They made more history in the process as well. Fox 17 sports director, she joins us here in studio with that big win recap.
Megan Scott, certainly wasn't easy for Tennessee, and it took all 3 games of the College World Series final to do it. But in the end, the Vols are now World Series champions for the first time in program history. Love the sound of that. Let's go ahead and take you out to Omaha. Game 3 against Texas A&M, where all the Big Orange stars were out tonight. Check it out. Morgan Wallen, Peyton Manning in the house cheering on the Vols. Tennessee's offense took a little while to get going the first 2 games. Not the case tonight. Christian Moore with a leadoff home run to get the Vols going, making it 1-0 Tennessee, bottom of the first. 2 innings later, more Big Orange power. They add some insurance here. Runner on. Dylan Dreiling coming up clutch with a sacrifice fly to center field. In comes Blake Burke. Make that 2-1 Vols lead. Now Dreiling got just underneath that last one, and he made sure not to miss again. Bottom of the 7th, Dreiling takes the 0-1 pitch over the right field fence. His 3rd home run of the weekend. And it's a big one, a 2-run bomb to put the Vols up 5-1. Now, still that same inning, Vols kept it going, rally with 2 outs, and they had a little magic on the base path. Check out this next play. Gavaris Tears hits this one hard off the right field wall, bounces off. Texas A&M with the relay coming home. Hunter Ensley rounding third. He's dead in the water, right? No, somehow Ensley pulls off a Houdini and avoids the tag completely. Take another look at it. A great play by Ensley, and that run would be huge because Aggies cut the lead down to 1, 6-5. But then the Vols pitching staff gets it done. Aaron Combs with the final 3 outs, and that will do it. Tennessee wins 6-5 over Texas A&M. And wins its first ever national title, also becoming the first #1 seed since 1999 to win it all. A big congrats to Tony Vitello and all of those Vols. Now, that wasn't the only big game on tonight. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final also in action. I'll have more on that game coming up later in the show. But for now, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
All right, bracing for the hottest day of the year so far. We could hit triple digits tomorrow, which would put us near record high territory.
Well, this after several days in a row in the 90s. Fox 17 News Code Red Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan tracking the heat for us tonight.
Going to be a hot one again tomorrow. We hit 94 today. We're going to be up to 99 tomorrow.
Hot.
All right. Yeah. We take a look, though. We're going to be close to a record high for tomorrow, too. 99, excuse me, the forecast. 101 is the record, so near that. And for perspective here, this is not a normal high temperature for us for this time of year, especially if we're so close to the record high. Our normal is 89, so we're well above that for tomorrow. 101. Set back in 1988 is the record. Things are quiet for tonight. Slightly drier air, which will allow temperatures to drop back more into the low 70s and some upper 60s. Just to our west, we have quite a bit of real estate under heat advisories. Now, Middle Tennessee not in that heat advisory, but it will still feel quite hot. The humidity just not quite as sultry as what it will be to our west. Low temperature for tonight in Nashville right around 70, maybe even some upper 60s. And Murfreesboro sitting at 66 degrees, Clarksville at 68, mid to lower 60s possible out towards Cookeville and Crossville. As we head out the door for tomorrow morning, we'll hover in those upper 60s to around 70 for the early morning commute. But we'll quickly climb from there, reaching again 99. Not going to be the only day where we could see 99, maybe 100 degrees this week. Which other days we are looking at for near record heat? Coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Well, tonight in Crisis in the Classroom, 2 new reports showing alarming statistics about education in Tennessee.
Very latest TCAP results show that only 46% of our 4th graders are proficient in reading, and unfortunately, that's just part of the bad news. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller now live in North Nashville with reaction to these test results.
Scott, Megan, one of the reports that we looked at ranks Tennessee 32nd in the nation for education. Now, the report that we looked at was the 2024 Kids Count report, which shows that the stats for education in Tennessee worsened in all 4 categories, including 4th graders not being proficient in reading. The report shows 70% of 4th graders are not proficient in reading as of 2022. The latest TCAP scores show 4th graders at a 46% proficiency rate in reading as of this school year, only up 2% from the previous school year.
We had done a lot of things during the pandemic, which we were led to believe would actually make us in a better position to do better. And so, unfortunately, with the results, we didn't see some of the things we'd like to do.
The state has tried addressing reading proficiency with the 3rd grade retention law, which is a law where a student can be held back, forced into tutoring and or summer school if they do not pass the English portion of the TCAP. Now, but Bowman believes that this needs to be taken on a higher level in order to make sure that the curriculum is strong enough and for those students who don't test well to still succeed with this new model. Reporting live from North Nashville, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Crisis in the Classroom is Fox 17 News' ongoing commitment to you, our viewers, to expose problems in our schools and to find solutions. If you have a story you'd like to see us cover, send an email to news@fox17.com, or you're welcome to call our tip line, 615-266-4149.
Continuing coverage tonight on a Davidson County man who says his problems with constant flooding at his home are being ignored. After seeing our original story, Metro Water Services said they would send someone over, but he says it still hasn't happened. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live at Metro Water Services in Germantown to tell us what he's saying, his side of the story. Hey, Karen.
John Cripps tells me that he has lost hope that his flooding problem will be solved. He just wants answers from Metro Water Services. He has lived at his home in Ashland City for nearly 5 decades. The last 10 years, he tells me his house has been flooded repeatedly. He tells me it's caused thousands of dollars worth of damage to his property. He tells me Metro Water Services have ignored his requests.
They're not paying any attention to me at all. They don't want to deal with me or my problem.
He tells me he wants a box culvert and a deeper culvert. Metro Water Services says they will come out this week or next, but Cripps tells me they haven't reached out to him yet. We emailed Metro Water Services ourselves to see if they were going to contact John Cripps to be able to go out to his house and reassess the culvert problem, and we're waiting to hear back. Reporting live here in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Karen. In Operation Crime and Justice tonight, Chattanooga police are piecing together a terrifying situation at an office building near a busy mall. Officers got a call about a possible active shooter this afternoon. Turns out police say that a man showed up to a business planning to do some harm. Officers say that gunman ended up shooting and killing himself, and no one else got hurt.
Dozens of protesters lined up outside Charlotte Avenue near the state capitol today. This marks 2 years since the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, leaving individual states like ours, Tennessee, to regulate abortion, determine whether it's legal. These protesters are demonstrating against our state's almost total abortion ban. It is among the most restrictive in the nation. The procedure only allowed here to save a woman's life or to protect her from severe bodily harm.
We just think it's important for everybody to be able to receive care, adequate care, appropriate care, and that's not happening with bans on abortion or birth control or IVF.
Supporters of Tennessee's new law say it's about protecting unborn children, and they say we are one of only 2 states in the country where births are up since Roe was reversed. We want to know what you think. Should abortion rights be in the hands of states like Tennessee or the federal government? We've got 671 votes so far. The numbers have been holding steady for hours now. 84% are comfortable with the states being in charge of that decision. And a little less than 16% say we'd feel better if there was a blanket policy where everybody in the nation was under the federal government's guideline. This poll's live right now. If you'd like to cast your vote, of course, you can scan the QR screen on on your code. And of course, we'll have a new poll for you tomorrow night.
Well, the hidden cost of owning a home. In Your Voice, Your Vote, we're less than 5 months away from the presidential election, and new numbers show young voters are paying less attention.
Now, this is compared to older generations. Fox 17 News' Matt Galka tonight shows us what this could mean for both campaigns.
What's next for America?
The president is now on TikTok. It's my honor.
Both the president and former president have a presence on TikTok, presumably because it's where the young people are. For Biden, Gen Z represents a group highly critical of his handling of the Israel-Hamas war. Losing a sliver of those voters in a swing state could decide the White House. A new CBS YouGov poll focuses on the coveted under 30 voting bloc. Joe Biden is favored among young people, 61-38 over Donald Trump. But pocketbook issues like the economy and inflation outpace the war for the under 30 voters' top priorities, with 43% of them saying Biden's policies have hurt them financially. Young voters also are overwhelmingly in favor of Biden canceling student loan debt, but it's unknown if that will even motivate them to vote.
Student loans. He's forgiven $144 billion in student loans. Only 36% of student debt holders like it. I mean, if you can't win the people you're pandering to, and yet I read in the polls, he pulled ahead this week. Explain that to me.
Biden's age is more of a factor in the vote compared to Trump's in the CBS poll. The president and his team have tried to change the narrative on his mental fitness concerns.
Well, Joe Biden doesn't have any concerns about his mental fitness, nor do I. I've spent an incredible amount of time with Joe Biden. That's just the fade that the other side is pushing.
A big question from the poll is if young people will even care enough to vote. Just 34% are thinking a lot about the presidential race, compared to 74% of voters over 65.
When we watch this campaign going forward, can the candidates not just motivate them, but also inform them about what they would do so that they can make ostensibly a more informed choice?
Almost half of all voters under 30 say that both Trump and Biden don't understand them, and just 60% of them say they'll still vote even if they don't like either one. That's compared to about 90% of people over 65 saying they'll still vote. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Galka.
Coming up, we'll talk more about the heat, how long it's expected to stick with us, and which day we're looking at a good chance of showers.
Buying a home is just the beginning, the hidden cost that could catch you by surprise.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are tracking the economy and the real cost of home ownership. Not only is it a struggle to buy a house right now, but keeping it can be an issue too.
Fox 17 News' Angela Brown breaking down some of the costs that could actually catch you by surprise.
Buying a home is out of reach for so many Americans. Here's why. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, the median home sales price is just over $420,000 for the first quarter of 2024. Danielle Hale, chief economist from Realtor.com, breaks down how much you need to make.
You need to earn over $100,000 in 34 out of the 50 largest metro markets to buy the typical home for sale.
But once you buy that home, the cost to maintain it is also going up. This new report from Bankrate found the average annual cost of owning and maintaining a single-family home in the U.S. is more than $18,000 a year. That is 26% higher compared to 4 years ago.
What hidden costs are we talking about?
So we're talking about things like property taxes, homeowners insurance, the electricity bill, the cable and internet, and then most importantly, is repairs and ongoing maintenance.
What's driving costs up? Inflation, rising housing prices, supply chain issues. Feeling this the most? Maybe first-time home buyers, because many long-term homeowners locked in mortgage rates when they were at 3%.
The home prices are near record levels. Mortgage rates are higher than they've been in decades. And so it's just a really difficult time to be a first-time buyer.
Right now, many young people are feeling like the American dream of owning a home is out of reach. A CNBC and Generation Lab Youth and Money in the USA survey found that 68% say housing is available but not affordable. In Washington, D.C., I'm Angela Brown.
Next couple of days will continue to be quite hot for us. Average average high for this time of year is around 89, and we're going to be well above that here every day this week. Brief cool down possible as we head towards Wednesday and Thursday, but then back up into those upper 90s, close to 100 degrees, our average line right here in yellow. So again, it'll be tomorrow and then possibly Friday and Saturday that we end up right around 100 again. Now, the humidity will be up there, but it won't be feeling quite as sultry as what we had on Sunday. The air is slightly drier, so that will actually play a role in the heat index value. Won't add too much more insult to injury. Feeling like about 100, if not 101, as far as the real field temperature goes. 86 our temperature at 10 o'clock in the morning. Mainly sunny skies the story throughout the day, and won't find any rain chances for tomorrow. So another day of watering those flowers. Make sure that they have plenty of water throughout the afternoon. As we take a look at those heat index values, I did mention that we'd have a little bit of one here. Feeling like low 90s by mid-morning on Tuesday. We get into the afternoon and notice even into that 1, 2, 3 o'clock time range. That's really the time frame that we're going to feel the heat out there with 100 in Nashville. Higher heat index values do look to be west of I-65, closer to the Tennessee River. Not quite as extreme toward McMinnville, Crossville, or Cookeville. But then we'll hang out right around that 100-degree mark as far as the real field temperature goes for the day until we get into the evening hours here. This is 6 p.m. It's still feeling like the mid to upper 90s, and then dropping back as we head more into the overnight hours. Now, in addition to the heat, we will be talking about the potential for a few showers and storms come Wednesday. That looks to be our best chance for showers and storms this week. Could contain a stray strong thunderstorm. These are not tornado makers. As we get into the summer months, they tend to more be hail and rain and wind makers. There's always exceptions to the rule, but this one won't be an exception. So I do think we are looking at maybe an isolated strong thunderstorm here or there. Could impact you briefly, and then it'll move on. Most should be non-severe, but a couple could be on the strong side for us as we go through the day on Wednesday. Notice much of the morning is quiet, maybe a stray shower to our north and to our west. But as we get into the later morning hours, Future Track's painting a few of these showers to push in by mid to late morning on Wednesday, and then into the early part of the afternoon. This would be the time frame that we need to watch for a stray strong thunderstorm. And right now, I would put that slightly higher risk to the north and to the west, but generally here and even through Wednesday night, a stray storm until we get to about 9, 10 o'clock in the evening hours, and then everything tapers off for us here. That will be the best chance for rain. Hopefully you do see some rain because we could use at least a little brief relief if we can at any point that we can get it. 70 our temperature for tonight with a clear sky. We're looking at 99 for the high tomorrow, hot and muggy one. And we'll be at 95 for Wednesday. Added cloud cover, chance of showers will help drop the temperature a little bit. Even more so Thursday with the passage of a front. But right back up to about 98, 99 for Friday and into the weekend.
Newer therapies treating blood cancer. I'm Liz Bonus. How they are saving lives. We share it just ahead.
Researchers say this summer could be one of the longest and most active.
A health alert as a center focused on blood cancer is now working on cutting-edge therapies for individual patients.
Fox 17 News medical reporter Liz Bonus tonight with one survivor's journey to healing.
Hey there, hello to you. After an initial stem cell transplant, one survivor now sharing his story with us. He recently received a newer therapy for blood cancer, which has led to remarkable results.
Truly amazing because I'm back. I can do 10 push-ups again.
More than a decade ago, Vince Richardson, a former phys ed instructor, told me he was diagnosed with what's called multiple myeloma.
It's actually a blood cancer that affects the bones.
When it recently returned, Dr. Edward Faber and his team here celebrating this new blood cancer healing center at Ohio's University of Cincinnati Cancer Center used Vince's own immune system to fight back.
Yeah, it's amazing. So totally amazing. I'm amazed every day.
Vince was given what's called CAR T cell therapy. He says he was one of the first with multiple myeloma to receive this therapy.
It's a way that we're able to manipulate or restore the normal function of the immune system to attack and fight cancer cells.
Here's how CAR T cell therapy works. Vince's own T cells, which fight infection, are taken out of his body. The cells are then altered to target a specific protein on his cancer cells and then infused back into his body.
The CAR T is, in its rightful sense, the true immunotherapy. So we're getting closer with understanding the immune system, which many of us believe is the key to longer remissions and even cures in sometimes uncurable cancers that we consider today.
Sure enough, Vince is now once again in remission, feeling none of the side effects he says he did with his initial stem cell transplant.
Like, I feel fine. They couldn't believe it. I couldn't either.
Now the next step in this therapy is to learn more about reducing any long-term risks to patients such as Vince. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, a breakdown of the thrilling finish between the Oilers and the Panthers.
Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Final tonight between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. Panthers looking for their first ever cup, while the Oilers trying to become the second team ever to pull off the reverse sweep in the Stanley Cup.
Hybrid choices than anyone else, like the stylish Corolla family, which includes the versatile, powerfully efficient Corolla Cross. This summer, get 4.75 APR financing on a new 24 gas-powered Corolla, or lease one for just $239 a month. With 2 years, no-cost maintenance. The choice is yours. Toyota, let's go places.
Lowercase b. Oh. Use a strong password.
Trying to remember a strong password is hard. Hiring Morgan & Morgan for your injury is easy.
Too many attempts.
Morgan & Morgan. The choice is easy.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger. For over 30,000 mouth-watering choices. Plus, savings like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. Kroger is worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Now, get to the top. I need you to come from here.
When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more,
I believe in you. Make it happen.
You're unstoppable.
Let's make it happen.
At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking.
Those are the same shade, right?
Not even a little bit.
Different websites, different definitions of blue. Designed with us, not the internet. That's part of Haverty's regret-free guarantee. It's time to expect more from furniture shopping. Haverty's, we furnish happiness.
Jetta received a 5-star overall safety rating, so if you stars get in, we could also say it has a 5-star interior.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I thought it was a good idea.
Visit your Volkswagen dealer today and lease the sporty 2024 Jetta S for just $199 a month.
Tonight on Access Hollywood.
Travis takes the stage as Taylor's London Eras Tour stop tops them all with superstar power, including Tom Cruise, as back home daughter Suri hits a milestone.
I never know what to expect.
J-Lo's solo European adventure rolls on as Star Style goes absolutely wild during Paris Fashion Week.
And I don't want him to be going, wait for daddy. So it's like...
How Eddie Murphy handles having kids from 5 to 34. And gold medalist Shawn Johnson is a mom of 3 now, and she's got a Hollywood history too.
I'm kind of busy.
Doing what?
That clip.